Good morning. Welcome to BOMA. Welcome to BOMA.
BOMA.
Technology.
Technology.
You're here for BOMA.
BOMA.
Technology.
Technology.
You can get those credits, 1 hour of CE.
You can get those cracks, 1 hour of BOMA CPD.
You came for breakfast, a little meet and greet. Yeah.
You came for BOMA Technology. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I see y'all like that. We stay, but we understand you have business to take care of, you know. We entertainers, we like to sing and split. So, give yourselves another round of applause for how beautiful you look this morning. And you know, if you stick around, you just might hear about the cloud. Whatever that is. That's a business term. We know clouds in the sky. So, without further ado, I would like to bring to the stage the president of BOMA, Brian Soletti.
Yeah!
And with that being said,
welcome to BOMA Technology. Mr. Brian Soletti.
There you go. All right, this is on. Great. Thank you. That was awesome. I want my family to welcome me like that every day when I come home. I'm going to take that home. Just a quick couple of acknowledgments, and we have a request for some help. So I'm going to invite Cindy Wiegand to talk about the help that she needs this week. So come on up and do your pitch, and then we'll get on with the program.
Good morning. Co-chair, I'm chair of Community Affairs, and we are doing a project this coming Monday, the 5th, in Detroit. It's on the southwest side, and if you're interested, I can send you further information. But we have a group of houses of residents who have been there for many years, and then there's several abandoned houses, and these abandoned houses need to be cleaned up. We have 4 landscape companies who are BOMA members who are helping us out tomorrow, taking care of all the big debris and trees and branches that are blocking things. And we need additional cleanup on Monday and also boarding up the houses. We did get some plywood from the city, and Kirko's also donating some gloves and nails and all. So we basically just need people. And the big thing for this is the children have to walk this path, this street every day to go to get the bus, and they're afraid that their children are going to be abducted into one of these houses. So if anyone could please help out on Monday, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
That is really tremendous work that you guys are doing. I'd like to acknowledge the board members that are here today. If you could just please stand. Todd Pardon with CBRE, Paul Magee with Clark Hill, Tim Grimsky, Newmark Grubb Knight Frank, Paula Goldman Spinner, past president, governor, and North Central Region chair. And I believe that's everybody. And me, Brian Saliot. So thank you for your continued support and efforts on behalf of the BOMA organization board members. And for those of you in the trenches doing the really important work on the committees, if you could please stand and be recognized. Committees. Thank you. So now on to the program. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the moderator for today, and Andy Gutman. Andy is the president and chief financial officer of Farbman Group. He's in direct oversight of all aspects of accounting, financial services, asset management, information technology, insurance, taxes, human resources, and marketing. Andy's been a great asset to BOMA and commercial real estate. He's a fierce advocate for our industry and chair of the BOMA Owners Advisory Council. You might be surprised to know, as I was, that Andy is a world record holder for the most pretzels eaten in one sitting. But what Andy is most proud of, which is truly amazing, is he was runner-up in the Mr. USA pageant. That is amazing. It's funny, the two disciplines. You can eat 100 million pretzels, yet you can stay disciplined to win a bodybuilding competition. That's awesome. Locally, he's received the Cranes Detroit Business CFO of the Year Award, the American Business Awards Financial Executive of the Year, and the American Business Award Maverick of the Year, and BOMA's President Award. He's truly a man that walks the walk and talks passionately about serving people, community, and his assets with the greatest of integrity, and he's really just a really cool guy. So thank you, Andy, and with that, let's start the show.
All right, that was not the funny part, the Mr. USA. No, there's no humor in that. You can eat a lot and still look this good. So, all right, I have the distinct honor this morning of moderating a tremendously talented panel of individuals. And with that, I'd like to introduce them all this morning. So, starting with Rick Beckers. Rick has been an office automation expert all of his adult life. His career started as an accomplished typewriter repairman. Does everyone know what a typewriter is? Show of hands. All right. As typewriters found their way to the dumpster and were replaced by word processors and eventually computers, Rick evolved with the technology and became one of the first certified network engineers in the state of Michigan. Now, for the past 30 years, I know he looks much younger than that, but for the past 30 years, Rick Beckers has been designing, installing, supporting computer networks, telephone systems, security cameras, and all types of business technology for small, medium, and enterprise clients throughout the United States. Rick's career has included terms as IT director over the automotive divisions of Black & Decker, manager of network engineering for Sequoia, director of engineering for FutureLink, and president of Pinnacle Tech. Business owners and C-level executives from startups to international organizations seek out Rick's advice on cloud strategy. And another nice little fact about Rick is he also was a former hand model, so it's very nice to know. Welcome this morning, Rick Beckers. Let's give him a nice round of applause. Next on our distinguished panel is someone near and dear to me, Farbman's own marketing director, Kelly Pinnell. Kelly comes to us with a distinguished career of having been her own individual creative director, honoring her own company, which provided marketing services to clients large and small. Kelly came to Farbman as the creative director, moved on to become the marketing director of the Farbman Group, and has changed and evolved everything we do there in terms of technology. She is world-class in everything she does. Miss Kelly Pinnell. And last but not least, our first speaker this morning, as a former commercial real estate broker from what I understand for one of the finest brokerage houses in the world, Michael Weinstein is no stranger to the historic work of technology with regard to commercial real estate. 16 years ago, Michael left that fantastic elite brokerage firm, joined the CoStar Group as a salesman. Today, he heads up the debt and equity sales in the Michigan and Ohio region and sells CoStar information solutions to CRE owners, property managers, and lenders. Michael graduated from, and brace yourselves, The Ohio State University, still number one right now, so got to give him credit for that, with a degree in business administration and has been in sales for over 25 years. This is one of the true cool facts of Michael. He is also the author of The 3 Wows, a book on common sense sales techniques. Michael, where's that available right now? All bookstores? Amazon.com. Pick up your copy, coming from one of the best salesmen I know. CoStar Group, as you know, is the leading commercial real estate research company, enjoying more than 1,600 researchers and utilizing hundreds of field research automobiles and one airplane, which is pretty amazing. CoStar Group operates as CoStar, LoopNet, Apartments.com, and Apartment Finder. Our first speaker of the morning, the wonderful Michael Weinstein.
Andy, stay up there. We're going to sing. No, just kidding. You want to sing? No. You don't want me to sing. So, welcome, everybody. My name is Michael Weinstein, as you heard. The brokerage firm I worked for was NAI Farben, so that was where I got my second start in commercial real estate after starting at Showstack. I think most everybody in the brokerage community actually started at Showstack and then moved on to other companies. So let's go here. Let me sort of get to my presentation. All right. So, CoStar at its heart is a research company, and our goal has always been to gather as much information on every aspect of commercial real estate. Now, back 16 years ago, when I started with CoStar, we were doing research a little bit different. Now, I'm going to sort of go through in this presentation. I'm not going to bore you with a lot of details, but I'm going to sort of go through the evolution of where we've come from and where that future is, and show you a couple of our new tools that we're using to really get the most accurate, timely, and comprehensive data that's out there in the market. We also, as Andy mentioned, we also have a couple other companies which you're familiar with. There's LoopNet. There's also Apartments.com. By show of hands, has anybody seen our ads on TV with Jeff Goldblum? Okay, so Jeff Goldblum's our pitch man, and Apartments.com is a real big initiative for us. But that with that task of becoming the best marketing site for multifamily, we had to step it up a little bit on the research side. So we've done that with what Andy alluded to, our research airplane. Okay, so technologies. When I started in the business, we used to use this sort of wagon wheel. Now it's poorly contrived by me, but it sort of shows the way that information flowed before CoStar and before CPIX and some of the other information sources were out there. It was a jumbled mess of everybody sending out flyers and brochures about their property to the largest number of people. And what would happen is that, and I remember when I left Farben, I think I had a stack of about 15 inches high of just brochures that were sent to me in the last month. And there was really no way to sort of organize that. And so technology really was taking a back seat to the market. There was no clearinghouse of information. And this was back in 1998. Now, how everybody used to gather information, of course, now information, pretty much this is how everybody worked. You use that rotary phone and, of course, a Rolodex. The pencil was a big tool, and of course, those brochures, again, that I alluded to, those were a big thing. Now, not all of these are antiques, but they've been repurposed today from a technology standpoint. So the phone, the rotary phone, has moved over to the iPhone, and actually the iPhone or any smartphone. Really, if you were to take all of these, you could actually replace it all with that smartphone that you're using right now, because that really does substitute for everything. But the iPhone or the smartphones have really changed the way we're doing business. The computers have replaced that old Rolodex, because you can index now all your information. Your finger, the pointer finger, not the middle finger, has replaced that pencil. And PDF and electronic documents have replaced those stacks and stacks of brochures and flyers and paperwork that we were all accustomed to. So really, technology has changed that. From a data collection standpoint, we started out at CoStar. It was actually called Realty Information Group. We started out sending out outbound faxes to people. Does anybody remember you actually standing in front of a fax machine and waiting for those faxes to come in? How ancient that idea is. In fact, I even have a fax machine in my office that's not plugged in because who the heck faxes anymore? Sorry for all you faxers. But these faxes that we used to send out a data sheet and say, could you please just write down an update and send the fax back? That turned into outbound calls as our research team grew from 200 to now 1,600 individuals. But our researchers are also collecting data from these public data sources. You guys know these well. You can go to any county and find out some information on who owns a property. You can pull a deed and so on. And that's actually what we do. So, and that's a prevailing theme of technology is that back then we used to actually have to go to the courthouse. We used to have to go to the county to get the information. Now you can just get it online. We're not doing anything different. We're not getting anything different. We're just doing it a more efficient way. Google Maps and Street View, everybody uses those, and that's a real neat way to sort of understand where all the buildings are and so on. We switched that over to field research of automobiles, and we actually have a number of automobiles, and I'll sort of go through that process as well. And of course, there are people driving them, but these field researchers are driving around and they're updating properties. They're counting the amount of parking spots. And they're getting all the information on properties. Of course, parking spots is something we can actually get from Google Maps now, so it's sort of an interesting thing. And then we have a field research airplane. This is a new foray into this field research that we've started. And I'm not going to lie, I thought it was a gimmick. I was told in January that we had this airplane that was going to fly around and do research, I was like, all right, that's just so our CEO can actually fly around and go places. I've been on the airplane, and I can assure you this is neat stuff. All right, and then finally to crowdsourcing, and I'm a little skeptical of crowdsourcing, the crowdsourcing of information, because of course, bad information in, bad information out, and I do believe that once you start crowdsourcing information, the quality does suffer. So that's an interesting thing for the future that I think that we'll probably hear more about pretty soon. All right, so field research. This field research vehicle, this is a Prius, but we have Prius and we have Volts that are out there. We wanted to limit our carbon footprint, but we have 130 of these driving around the US and some throughout Canada. And what they're doing is they're taking pictures of properties. They're documenting that the building actually exists. That's the only way you can actually do research and understand. And you guys know this because the physical world, that's actually what you can see. When you go online and you see information about a property, you really don't know what the details are. So technology, the ability to get that information online, and it's nice and all, but to actually see it is a very different story. And then we go to aerial research. And again, I was very skeptical. And you can sort of see right here on this screen exactly how they're flying around and what they're seeing when they're doing. And these aren't live videos, of course. But let's go in here, and I'm going to show you a short video so that I don't have to speak so much. Here's
Number 1 Charlie Golf, variable at 3, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
We purchased the plane to help our construction pipeline. We wanted to be able to find construction, report that information to our clients in a faster method than we are by driving the markets and collecting information. Flying the plane over the CoStar markets, we would take canvassing from 3 months to 3 days. We have a Cessna Grand Caravan EX, which is a large bodied plane with a high wing that gives us the visibility. We have a Cineflex Ultra Red Dragon camera turret on the bottom of the plane. We can shoot buildings up to 2 miles away from the plane. We also have Churchill moving maps that move with the plane. It gives us the ability to see the CoStar database in the plane, know all of the properties that CoStar already knows about, as well as the proposed properties, which is very important in this process because we want to know when they're under construction.
So I can see what CoStar already has by these purple settings right here. I can go to it, I can select it, and my camera will slew to that location that I press on the map. I can go and zoom in on whatever we may not have, select it on my screen, and update the settings. If it's under construction or proposed or whatever the new setting is for that building, I'll say that I visited that, and on the right-hand side of my screen, all my markers will have been saved.
Then send that information to our field researcher on the ground. They can collect more information at the property real time and be in the CoStar database that day, aerial and land coverage. The plane will start making its way through the top 30 markets in the U.S. twice a year. It's new for us. It's a new adventure. We had a difficult time getting the first car built, and now we have 150 of them. So we're happy to have the first plane launched and ready for flight.
Okay. So really, the reason I showed that is because I think it's important to understand that the process of gaining access to all the under construction properties in a market was really a time-consuming task of 4 field researchers driving around the market. Then going into read construction data or some of these other sources that we subscribe to. And pulling the information and talking to the players. Today, we can do this a lot better. So like if I go here, first of all, this is the plane. And it's about 1,500 feet above the ground. And it has this amazing camera that can take some great photos. And I'll show you some of those in a little bit. But these photos can be taken from 2 miles away. They're looking specifically for under construction properties. So what they do, and Amber, who was on that video, she took me up for a flight about a month and a half ago. And what she does is she's actually looking out the windows and to see, along with the pilots, to see if there's a property that's under construction. And then she alerts the pilot. They focus the camera in on that area. And then she works on her computer to figure out, first of all, who owns the property. So we actually have a parcel overlay that she can actually see who owns the property, can see if we have it in our database as proposed or under construction. They can see at that point whether there's ground being moved or if it's just vacant land. But she can also match it up with our other data and then send that information immediately to our researchers in Columbia, Maryland, and have them update the property. So from being in the air to having that vital information in our customers' hands, it takes about 3 hours. So for the Detroit trip, they were here and they flew into Oakland Airport, and it took 5 days to canvass the whole Metro Detroit market. And